Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of The Professor's Picks alongside, who do you think? The man
Hey,
himself, Mr. Ken
what's
Golden.
going on?
What's going on? What's happening?
Well, getting ready for a long weekend.
Yeah, long weekend, vacation week for me as well. So,
Great. I don't know what that is. I remember that there was a word in my vocabulary called vacation, but
nowadays, vacation means I just don't work. I stay here. This is fine. No
it's
big deal.
amazing how the pandemic it changed everything
Kind of
really.
did. Yeah, kind of did. Whatever.
But I'm okay.
As long as I can get some R&R, that's really all that matters. So,
I have my creature comforts here, so
that's what it's all about. Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is. So, Memorial Day weekend, long weekend. This is traditionally a very light week for orders, and for new product. So Jim and I are kind of sitting here twiddling our thumbs a little bit, and I've got some stuff to sell. Nothing that's going to blow anybody's minds, but let's talk about it. I'm not bothering to hold up JPEGs or anything. I just want to talk about the restocks. I'll run through them. We got a restock of three releases from Yorgos Fakanis, the Greek bass player. We sold through the Nest twice, the live album with Guthrie Govan, and then we got in a couple of his studio albums. Here's one of them, Domino. I said I wasn't going to hold up anything, but this is like great. Brett Garcedd's on it, Mike Stern, Dave Weckl. It's pretty, it's hot fusion. We got that one and Acrobat. It backwards. This is with Dennis Chambers, Mike Stern, Lou Soloff. So we've got those in. So if you're looking to expand your Yorgos Fakanis vocabulary and discography, we have all of those, and those are really really good fusion albums. We also got back in Shika Fierce Frolin the complete recordings, which had been out of stock for some time. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to mix things up. I'm going to do the pre-orders last.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go through the new CDs and videos for the week. A lot of metal. Something called Erigion Non Amus Moriar. It's like some kind of Italian fantasy power metal. It's all about like elves and shit. I don't, it's like they love that stuff. But it is what it is. On a personally more interesting note, we have the new one from my friends at Free Kitchen. Everyone Gets Bloody. Matthias Eklund, great guitar player, and friends with the Morgable guys. And yeah, I mean it's crazy progressive hard rock with like virtuoso playing and a strong sense of humor. That's why I sort of put it broadly into the Morgable category, Morgable being an instrumental band, but this sort of Free Kitchen kind of cut from that cloth, a
Yeah.
little bit from that cloth.
Yeah.
Really, really talented guys, nice people. Uh Now this one I was almost reluctant to talk about because they're selling, and when this airs,
Might be
I'm not
coming.
100% sure we're going to have any. Fures and Froling, the complete recordings. So this is the post Shika Fures Froling band. Eddie Shika left. He joined Holderlin, and it became Holderlin's drummer, and they made a really shitty album called New Faces. That was pretty bad. And Fures and Froling kept going, and they made Amerlin, which I think is a beautiful album. A lot of Mellotron on that record, long tracks. This stuff kind of, in a way, it kind of predates New Age. It's keyboards and guitar, a lot of acoustic guitar. There's electric guitar too. So we have they made three albums. Amerlin, the first one, is by far the best one. They made one called Strings, and they made one called Diary. And this three CD set is those three albums. Plus, it includes a live show from, I believe, I don't, since it's not in front of me, I think it's from I'm trying to look, 1990 maybe? I don't know. It couldn't have been 90. Had to have been 80, probably 80. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
being lazy.
1980. I'm looking at your notes here. Yeah,
Yeah,
1980.
I'm being lazy. And actually, that live recording is pretty good. It's a soundboard that had been circulating for years, and I think Heinz Frohling cleaned it up, and it's totally acceptable. So it's the 4 albums on a 3 CD set, and it's a nice complement to the SFF stuff. So, and the distributor's already sold out. They're waiting for more. I don't have many left. If it's on the website when you see this video, it should be the first thing you buy because it'll be the first thing that's going to be gone. Next thing, Peter Hamill, been along so long, the Naked Songs Tour, Bremen, 1995, 2 CD solo acoustic, well, not solo acoustic, but solo, he's playing solo guitar, solo piano, solo Peter Hamill. And next, New York Gong, About Time. So this is kind of an interesting lineup. I don't know if David Allen was actually living in New York at the time. I don't know, I remember Fripp was living in New York at that time. I don't know that David Allen was, but David Allen put together a new version of Gong that's not really Gong, but what it is it's the guys from Material. And this was before Material released anything. So you've got Cliff Coltrane on guitar, Bill Laswell on bass, Fred Marr on drums, and Cliff's an interesting guy. He was the head A&R guy at Relativity Records for years. He was the guy that signed Joe Satriani, and Bill Laswell. Everybody knows Bill Laswell, great bass player and producer. He's a monster. And Fred Marr, he formed Massacre with Bill Laswell and Fred Frith. So it really doesn't sound like Gong if that's what you're expecting. Did you ever hear this one?
No,
It's
but with
kind
those players, I can't imagine it would sound like Gong at all.
it doesn't. It doesn't. It's kind of like New York underground post punk. I mean, it's got a psychedelic progressive element to it for sure. I mean, and these are great players. But yeah, if you're expecting like the Pothead Pixies, this ain't it. So yeah, and it was a whole thing that was coordinated by Giorgio Gamelski. So Gamelski was trying to create this scene, cultivate this, New York underground prog scene. A lot of it dealing with like the loft scene in Soho and Tribeca. There was a lot of stuff going, a lot of musicians living there, and there was a lot of underground stuff happening. And in fact, there was a festival called the Zoo Festival, ZU Festival, that was quite infamous. It was kind of it was supposed to be a 24-hour festival and was a little bit of a train wreck. And I'm pretty certain New York Gong performed at it, and a million versions performed at it. I know Paul Sears, I think the Muffins played there, and God knows who else. Actually, it was funny because there were a lot of bands that played there, and guys from those bands went on to do other things that would better known. I didn't go. I remember when it happened, and I saw the lineup, and I'm like, who's going to sit there for 24 hours? I was like, yeah. I think that I think, and I could be wrong. So maybe, hopefully, somebody will post in the comments. I think the police kind of shut it down for a curfew or something. I don't remember. It was a little bit of a train wreck.
Wouldn't be
All right,
surprising.
enough about New York Gong. Now we're going back to metal. We got Stormborn, Zenith, and I have British melodic power metal is what I wrote. So I didn't write elves and shit. So there's no elves, but there's but these guys are British. Here's the buy or die for the week. The new one from Terra Maze. Eli, A Wonderful Fall from Grace. So Dean Wells is the man behind Terra Maze, Australian progressive metal band with a very strong prog rock element on this album. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
And Dean always puts out he puts out good albums. You know, he jumps around from label to label. He's not the easiest guy to work with from what I hear, but for me, he's a sweetheart, no problems. And we sell a lot of his product. This is really good,
Hmm.
you know, really good. Good vocals. And yeah, I did you ever hear any of the older any
Yeah, I've heard a good chunk of them. They're hit or miss with me. They've never been a band that I've been completely bowled over by, but I know so many people love them. So I'm always thinking like, what am I missing here with these guys? Because I
I,
should love them.
I gotta tell you, people were hounding me. When are you gonna have Terror Maze? When are you gonna have Terror Maze? We got it, got a lot of copies, and it's selling very well. And this is this is the best album I'm selling this week as far as in stock. And it's like I said, it's kind of like that balance between prog rock and prog metal. Clearly more towards the prog metal side, but it's very melodic, and I think it's very strong. So, and it's selling quite well. Terror Maze. Next, running through the alphabet, solo album from Kavis Torabi, The Banishing. So, Kavis was in Guapo. He has another band, what is it, Knife World? And Kavis was handpicked by David Allen to become a member of Gong and basically take over Gong when he left the planet and went back to the homeland. And so Kavis basically is the leader of Gong now, and that version of Gong makes credible Gong music. It sounds
Yes,
kind of like it sounds like Gong. You know,
it does.
he passed the mantle on to Kavis, and Kavis ran with it. So this is a solo album from him called The Banishing. Uh, not as weird and pixie-ish, but you know, a psychedelic prog album. Maybe maybe have a little bit of an affinity to like Sid Barrett, you know, that kind of thing. More metal. This is a weird one. Violet Eternal. Reload the Violet. You see the cute AI generated girl on the cover, and lady. You figure it's like some female led metal thing. It doesn't seem to be. It's an Italian guy and a Japanese guy got together and they made this album. Brought in some other people from. I think one of the guys from. I think the Italian guys from Vision Divine. And I'm sorry about the names. I don't have them, but it's kind of like speedy power metal.
Hmm.
So it's not what it looks like. I would have figured, you know what I mean? I thought it was going to be like some gothic thing. It's
That's
not.
what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. Vinyl, very short this week. Two from Steve Hackett, reissues, never been on vinyl. Well, actually, I don't know if Till We Have Faces was ever on vinyl. Might have been. And Feedback 86. So Feedback 86 was kind of an interesting album because it was like Steve emptying out the vaults. It was kind of like an unreleased album that he was working on back in '86. Got Brian May playing on.
Yep.
So yeah, Till We Have Faces must have been on vinyl
It
back.
had to have been, right? Yeah.
I think so. I'm not recent. Sorry, I didn't do the research this week. I let you all down. I should know that. But anyway, vinyl. I got it. All right, let's do the pre-orders, and then you'll all go do your homework. 15 years. This is 15 years. Vinyl pre-orders for Beardfish. Can't believe this came out 15 years ago. It's never been on vinyl, so Inside Out's doing it now because they've re-signed the band, working on a new album, and to celebrate, they're doing this 15th anniversary, 2 LP black and 2 LP red vinyl. I'm going to jump the alphabet, and then we're going to go to Yes, the Super Deluxe box set. This is kind of weird. The timing of this is really strange, and the reason being that Analog Productions, in cooperation with Atlantic Records, is doing a 75th anniversary celebration of Atlantic Records, and one of the albums that they did a vinyl reissue, was in the process of, is Fragile, the 2 LP 45 RPM version, and it's the original mix. That has nothing to do with this. And what this is, a box set, and it is a LP 4 CD Blu-ray box. So you get new stereo mixes, new 5.1 mixes, I think Atmos, Dolby Atmos. You get early demos, like, rough run throughs of some of the stuff. There's unreleased live stuff with, I believe, with Bruford from the Fragile tour.
Hmm.
And there's actually an unreleased song on here called The Dean. I don't know if it has anything to do with Roger Dean. I don't know. And I don't think anybody's heard it yet, but it's an
Wow.
actual unreleased song. It's not a 12-minute epic or anything, but it's an unreleased 1971 guest song.
At this point, whoever thought we would see an unreleased guest song from the early 70s, right? Like where they've been hiding that all these years.
Yeah, well, especially, they've been doing all of these reissues and stuff. You would think that years ago they would have dug this stuff up. But so yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. It's expensive. And the last thing I want to talk about, if I could take a couple of minutes to talk about this, because this is something that I'm putting out. It's the new album for Orison Space Collective. It's called Orgon Unicorn. And uh, we it was we did very well selling the band's Carnival in Portugal release. So I was having a conversation with Scott Heller, who goes by the name of Dr. Space. He runs this collective, this musical collective, and we got into talking, and we came to an agreement that I would put out one of their albums. This is their 44th album. So they sell, they put stuff out themselves. A lot of it goes through Bandcamp. They do press CDs and they do press vinyl. And there's a lot of stuff that goes exclusively through their site. This ain't it. So this is a double album. It's a double CD. The CD set has about, I don't know how many extra minutes of music. It's got quite a bit of extra music. Otherwise, it was going to be a 3 LP set. So it's a double CD. The people I should say the lineup for this, it's really like a collective. The lineup's constantly changing. So the band just played some shows last week, and I think the guys that played were different than the guys that are on this record. So who's on this record? You have Matthias Olsson from Engelgard. He's playing drums and mellotron. Jonathan Siegel from Camper Van Beethoven on guitar, and I believe also playing violin. Martin Weaver, who's a legendary guitar player from the British band Dark, and he also had another band called Wicked Lady, and that would you know that Wicked Lady album, right? Yeah. So Martin, I don't know if Martin's actually playing guitar on the album. He's doing something on the album, and he has a project with Scott Heller with Dr. Space called Doctors of Space. Luis Simoes, who is, I believe, Portuguese, and he has a great psychedelic. He's sort of like a one-man band called Saturnia. Hasa Horgmo from Tangle Edge is playing bass, and it's fucking great psychedelic space rock. I mean, long songs, 20-minute songs, 25-minute songs. It's epic stuff, and I got the test pressing, and I want to say the sound was great. I was really kind of surprised. I wasn't expecting it. Very organic recording, but you sit and you listen. There's a lot going on, but you could hear. You're listening to. These are all come out of jam sessions. You're hearing guys that are listening to each other, and it's not crazy, free. It's coherent and it's spacey and it gets heavy in spots. Pete, I'm going to warn you, there's sitar on this record. So
I don't mind it in bursts, but yeah, when there's a lot of it, I thought that
well,
last album was really sad. The last one that I heard, which is now 2 albums ago, the one you mentioned
right.
before.
Yeah, the
That's really
Carnival in
good.
Portugal.
Portugal, yeah.
Yeah, and like they're so prolific. It's like I got the Carnival in Portugal album in, and then I went to their Bandcamp page to steal the JPEG, and I was like, oh wow, there's a newer album. There's something
Yeah,
that
you know,
came
like
out after this. I'm
every
like,
other week
oh,
there's
like,
something new coming out,
yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
like, so we're doing this. Okay, we have a double CD set. We're doing it 2 LP black vinyl, making 300 copies, and 2 LP on bone colored vinyl, only making 200 copies. You could pre-order them on our website. You could pre-order them on our Bandcamp page. I never really pushed the Bandcamp page, but it's lasersedge.bandcamp.com, and you can hear like the 22-minute title track there. So if you want to get a taste of it, um, is it representative of the album? Broadly, because it's very different. You know, another track might be more guitar oriented. Another track may be more keyboard oriented. A lot of great soloing on the album. I mean, there are some really heavy parts. I'm really happy to put this album out. I'm really kind of excited about it.
When's the release date on that?
Oh, July 26th. Yeah, I
Oh,
should say
okay.
July 26th. And I hadn't put out the last album I put out on Laser's Edge was the second, was I should say the third Agusa album. So it's been a while.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since I'd done a Laser's Edge release. So so that was so anyway, very excited about that. And you know, we're gonna be working on next thing we're working on the Chris Herron from Tiles, his solo album. Finally, we're getting that together and that'll be out at the end of the summer. So but for right now, uh we got Orison Space Collective, and y'all better buy this thing or I'll be pissed. You've never seen me pissed. So it's really no. So if you're into space rock, if you have any taste of this band, you're gonna love it. And like I said, it sounds really good. I had no expectations, man. I put it on. I'm like, oh wow. I just got my attention. I got quiet. And I just listened to this thing all the way through. Great, great.
Have they been?
That's what I got this week.
You've carried some of their other stuff. They've been.
Yeah, and I've had some of their stuff from over the years, and I'll probably get more of their catalog as I'm able to. Not the easiest to come by, but now that I kind of have this relationship with the band, hopefully I'll be able to get some of the other titles. If you like if you like the Carnival in Portugal release, you're gonna love this. So
Yeah, and they don't really sound like anybody else. But if you like Ozric Tentacles and the more instrumental, spacey stuff of Hawkwind and maybe Hydra Space Folk and all that kind of stuff, I think this is like a no-brainer
oh,
for
yeah.
you.
Even Pink Floyd, some like
Yeah.
yeah, like the spacier instrumental parts of Pink Floyd. It's like, yeah, it. You're right. You know why? Nobody, because it's all improvised. But it's improvised, and then Scott kind of cobbles it together and makes something cohesive out of it. And it's really good. So, and I'm gonna bug the shit out of you, Pete, as we get closer. You know that, right? I'm gonna make your life a living hell. You know me. You know me, but
That's okay.
that's all right.
I can handle
I
it.
think, yeah, I think everybody's gonna like this one. So I think it's really good. So, like I said, you can pre-order it on our website. You can pre-order it on Bandcamp, and at the very least, you should go check it out. You can hear a nice chunk of the album on our Bandcamp page right now. So lasersedge.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, we'll put the link down below as well with all the titles of everything, so you can go investigate that. So
And that's what I got this week. It's kind of light week. Next week we've got some other stuff coming. I know Psychotic Waltz reissues are starting up for next week. Hopefully the new Flower Kings live album that Ronnie Stoll put out himself, that's in transit to us. I don't know exactly when it's going to be here. I got a new Legacy Pilots coming. There is what else? Prehistoric Animals, Hasse Froberg. So this thing's happening. So yeah, it'll we'll see where it goes. We never know from week to week, right?
true. True.
Airbag. I know there's a new Airbag coming soon.
Yes, yeah, I saw that. Encouragement.
So yeah. So see.
Cool.
I never know.
Lasercd.com, of course, is the link, so we'll put that below and all the titles, so you can go copy and paste and go check them out, and we'll drop the link to the Bandcamp page as well, so you can go listen to the Orison Space Collective track epic track from the
Title
upcoming.
track, yeah.
Yeah. So cool. So go check it all out and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. What do we got coming up tomorrow? We've got the review crew. So we've got Jamie Laszlo and a new crew for this week. Sunday, I will be ranking the first 4 Spirit albums. That's coming up on Sunday. And then Monday's Memorial Day here in the States. We will have the Hudson Valley Squares on Monday, so stay tuned for that and lots more. For Ken Golden, I am Pete Pardo. Have a great weekend, everybody. Great Memorial Day for folks who celebrate here.
Yeah, nice long
Yeah.
peace, love, and barbecue.
That's right. That's right. I'm gonna get a pulled pork going tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. First time on the new smoker.
Oh,
So
that's great.
that'll be happening tomorrow. So we'll see you all next week here with the professor for the professor's picks. Till then, have a good one, everybody.